I'm going to talk about this level when I talk to him about Reed Richards when he stretches his cock.
Yeah, you're good. You're going right up to 12.
Is that in the comic book?
That is in the comic book.
He just expands his dick inside of Sue.
Yeah, he just fucking takes it and slaps it on her forehead. I'm like,
that's not what I said.
Poor Sue.
that's something he would do. Tell me it's not. He's a misogynist.
I can't tell you it's not, because it is.
He's a piece of shit.
Poor Sue.
Poor Sue.
He helicopters it and it grows exponentially as he does it.
No.
It's like a Stretch Armstrong.
I hope you keep this in.
Don't. Please.
Because he stretches.
Please
You
don't.
get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going home now.
I like the Fantastic Four.
I also like the Fantastic Four.
I'm cool with
But they're fucking
Fantastic
dumb.
Four. They are dumb.
They're so dumb, but I love them.
They're the quintessential, like, we got our powers in, like, the 60s when no one knew what a superhero was. So, like, I got stretchy powers. I got invisible powers. I'm a rock.
I think about that all the time, how they, like, got their code names in the first issue, where it's like, Sue, you're invisible. We'll call you the Invisible Girl. Johnny, you've burst into flames like some kind of human torch. That's what I'll call you.
That's the one that's like so stupid to me the most.
Yeah.
It's like Human Torch.
Well, it's
not Fireman.
First of all, I told you he's a misogynist.
And then
they're just like, Ben, you're a fucking thing.
No, he says that, but he's like, I'm like big and rocky. I'm just some like big thing. He's like, well, that's what we'll call you. And I'll be Mr. Fantastic. I love that. It's so fucking funny.
That one line epitomizes Reed Richards.
I'll be Mr. Fantastic. This fucking gangly fucking giraffe man, just like he's fucking... he like turns sideways and he's invisible now because he's so fucking skinny, this guy.
We're not only superheroes, we're also scientists and explorers.
Ah.
Just pick a fucking genre, guys. Come on.
Yeah, they were. I forget. They were fucking explorers way before that. I forgot.
Yeah, it's sci-fi, it's fantasy, it's superheroes. It's everything.
It's just whatever you want.
They can do anything.
Yeah.
They can literally do any genre.
Except have a functional home life. Got him.
Alright, so who wants to go first?
Welcome to Nothing Important. Today we're playing Comics with Joe. Jeremy, would you care to explain the rules of the game?
It's two truths and a lie. Two of us are
I'm
truthing.
Joe.
That's Joe.
Joe!
I gotta edit this shit. You guys keep fucking...
Joe, how are you today?
God damn
I'm
it.
doing pretty damn good today.
Would you say that you're fantastic?
I would say
Get out.
that. I would say that.
Jeremy, explain.
We're talking about the Fantastic Four!
We're talking about
just like us!
We're talking about
I
the
sprayed some Fantastic on my countertops. So, good day.
We're talking about the Fantastic Four. Two of us are telling truths about the Fantastic Four. One of us is telling a lie about the Fantastic Four.
It's Jeremy.
Joe has to figure... That's a lie. Joe has to figure out which one is the lie.
Can I do it?
No.
No.
His track record says no.
Who knows, though?
Well.
We'll find out. Tune in now to find out.
And subscribe.
Link it. Comment down below right now if you think that Joe can do it, and then at the end, edit the comment and tell us if you were right or
Give me your
not.
support, please.
Yeah, give your energy to Joe so that his brain can work tonight.
Yes.
I'll never know for sure.
I need it.
Because I won't read the comments.
Jesse doesn't have a computer. And also he doesn't know how to read. So
I just look at the
he
pictures.
just looks at the pictures. He makes up what the word bubbles say. So I think this guy is saying this.
Honestly, if you did that, you'd probably write a better Fantastic Four story than the ones we're talking about.
Wow.
Ooh, hot take.
Coming in hot right off the bat.
All right.
Is
Jake, why don't you
Jake.
start us off this time?
All right.
Round 1. Fight.
The year is the 60s.
Wow, a good year.
My favorite year.
The 60s.
60s.
So
What year were you born? 1960s.
this was the first.
60 what?
Yes.
I gotta pull up the thing. So this is Fantastic Four #2. All right, and it's
Number
gonna lead
2.
into.
So it's the second issue ever.
Yes, this is gonna lead into several storylines because I decided to do.
the second
I
issue
can't.
ever.
It expands. So I'm starting with the first appearance of the Skrulls. Now, for those who don't know,
Me.
Didn't you see Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
The Skrulls were in that.
The green guys.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
Skrulls are a race of shape-shifting aliens who go to other planets and invade them. Lately, they've been changed. They've been at war with the Kree for millennia. Before, they were just kind of backwards, animalistic, like assholes who would just come in and just be like, "Fuck your culture, I'm taking over." We could shapeshift. I could turn my hand into a gun. What are you gonna do about it?
They're very funny. I like the Skrulls because they don't have any kind of clear motivation. They just kind of show up on Earth and they're like, we're people now. We live here now. Fuck you.
Because they fucking first showed up in 1962. They were made by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. So they were literally just like, we need the Fantastic Four to do something. They already fought a mole monster in the first issue. What do we do now? I don't know. Let's do Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So they show up. They're a metaphor for communism, probably.
It makes sense.
Most likely.
It's like everything back then was.
They live amongst us.
Amongst us. They're like, oh, free. The Skrulls came in. They're like socialized healthcare, and they're like, get them.
Fuck out of here.
Like, so they tussle. They exchange words, and then through a series of events, they trick the Skrulls into turning themselves into cows, and they don't have they have their minds erased, and they're just cows now.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So and then Reed Richards is just like, well, that's the end of that chapter, and he walks off into the sunset to commit more war crimes.
That's the whole issue.
Fantastic.
That's the whole. It was the '60s. What do you want? They were selling these to kids. They sold fucking X-ray specs and bubble gum in the margins.
All right.
You
all
can
right.
color on them.
You could.
Yeah.
No one gave a shit back then. And then losers like us came around like 30 years later, and then we were like, "This is art.
This shit's worth money.
This is the peak of human culture right here."
I'd spend a lot of money for this fucking shitty piece of paper.
So as time goes on, we get to a point where the Skrull cows are causing problems for this small dairy farm. I don't know what year this happened. It just kind of happened, and don't ask me. I tried Googling all of this shit.
Wait.
and
Is this the same story?
No, this is an expanded part. This is 3 parts. I'm talking about all the different parts where
Where Skrull cows happen.
the Skrull cows had to do with it.
These same Skrulls being the same cows doing the same thing.
They show up again later.
So the Skrulls regain. So the Skrulls, the cows, their milk starts to fucking infect this small town, this like dairy farm town, called King's Crossing, giving them like shape-shifting powers. So the Fantastic Four, Johnny Storm just happened to be banging some girl from that town, as you do.
Yeah, as per usual.
This is a Johnny Storm thing to do. And they're like, hey, people over here are turning into chickens and shit. And they're like, that's weird. We should go investigate that. And Reed Richards is like, well, if it isn't the consequences of my actions. So they neutralize the threat, and then they all move on with their lives and leave them there again. So A little bit later on, the Skrulls regain their sentience during the Skrull Kree War, and then one of them dies, and then they just turn them into cows again, and then they're handed to the U.S. government.
They really love this bit.
They just keep turning them into fucking cows. They don't learn their lesson.
What will you learn? That your actions have consequences!
Because next, they're accidentally sent to a slaughterhouse.
Oh, okay.
Well, this will solve the problem, though.
Where they're turned into meat, and then people eat the meat, and their DNA is changed forever, and they become
Mad cow disease.
Mad Skrull disease.
It's a metaphor.
It's called Skrullovria-induced Skrullophobia, and it just gives them shape-shifting powers. And this story and this team was created because everything in my life leads back to these two. I didn't know this when I was looking into it. Grant Morrison and Mark Millar, which is like the weirdest fucking team up I could ever
Together?
Yes!
That's bizarre.
That's so fucking weird. It's like you got like an acid taking fucking hippie and like a fucking states' rights fucking libertarian.
I really want to know what their correspondence was like.
I could not fucking
I would pay money to read their emails. I can only imagine what Morrison has to say to Millar when Millar is like, what if we do something stupid and bad? And then Morrison says, no, what if we take that idea and we make it good?
I feel like it'd be like, what if we did something stupid and bad? And then Morrison would be like, no, what if we do something good, then something stupid and bad? You gotta layer it like a sandwich.
Good, stupid, bad, good. Bad, stupid, good.
Yeah, exactly.
But apparently the artwork looks fucking horrendous for this. It was
It's like the 90s, isn't it?
yeah, no, this was when like 4 writers. It was fucking Lobdell, Morrison,
Oh my god.
Millar, it was like Lobdell, Millar, McFarlane, and help me here, Liefeld. Those are like the 4 artists of the 90s that everyone knows about, and all their characters
Seth MacFarlane.
look like shit, and they all look the same.
Yes, Seth MacFarlane.
Honestly, yeah, it could be. But
You'll never know.
Yeah.
so they wrote this story about these guys who get these incredible shape-shifting powers, possibly even more powerful than Skrull. I don't know how you could be more powerful of a shapeshifter. Like I'm changing even harder than you are. But it was
Super Skrull?
More shapes.
I mean, the Super Skrulls, I think their thing is they can also mimic powers, not just shape.
Oh, is that what their thing is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't know.
No, the Skrulls can the Skrulls can only mimic shape. The Super Skrulls can mimic your powers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also did like weird experiments on Skrulls later on where they were like taking DNA and like injecting it into people. Deadpool got taken and he gave them all cancer and they exploded.
Cool.
Isn't that great?
As you do.
Yeah.
Cool.
What a Deadpool thing to do.
Yeah.
So these guys get these powers and they're like, you know what? Fuck Skrulls. We're gonna hunt them. So they just form a fucking team called the Skrull Kill Crew. And crew is spelled with a K because it's the 90s.
Yes.
And their leader is...
Sick.
Their members are Ryder, who has... He basically looks like Duke Nukem with a ponytail, which means he looks...
Sick.
Which means he looks like Jason Praxis from DC, which means he looks like the main character from Comic Zone on the Sega Genesis, because everyone in the 90s looked exactly the fucking same.
Yeah. Radical.
Radical!
Is he blonde or brunette?
He's blonde.
Of course.
Bleach blonde.
Joe clocked
And
them.
he carries a gun, and sometimes he turns his hand into a gun, because he's fucking
Nice.
awesome like that. He's badass. There's the 3D Man 2, Riot, Catwalk, Dice, and Moonstomp.
Dice.
Moonstomp.
I can't find any information about any of these fucking characters.
Moonstomp.
Moonstomp is a sick name, I'm not gonna lie.
I like Moonstomp.
Yeah.
That sounds like a band I would listen to. Moonstomp.
Moonstomp.
So there you go. It's just Reed Richards in the 60s turned a bunch of Skrulls into cows, and we've been paying for it ever since. Because Reed Richards is a monster. Yeah. I cycled through a bunch of stories for this. I was going to do Galactus when he turned into a human, or when they all turned into monkeys, or when Reed Richards created the universe, because 2005 was a fucking nightmare.
All these
Jake is making all these things up right now.
But
Fantastic Four is very grounded, very realistic.
But I decided,
comic.
I decided.
You'll find out with my story.
I decided.
I don't trust you.
To stick with cow Skrulls. So there you go.
Cow Skrulls.
All right, cow Skrulls. Yeah. So, how many actual, like, comics did you just tell me about?
Basically, 2 limited stories. Like, so it was just like a 1 issue. And then 1 is just like the creation of a team that went on to be a continuous thing.
That's still happening?
They still exist. They fought in the Skrull in the Secret Invasion, I think.
Okay.
Because they're like Skrulls.
The Secret Invasion, everyone knows about
So the
it.
Secret Invasion is when everyone found out that like everybody who is like half the superheroes on Earth have secretly been kidnapped in exchange with Skrulls.
Skrulls.
People hate that story too.
It's body snatchers.
Yeah.
We said it before. It's just body snatchers.
Yeah.
It's the communists.
All right.
So they still exist to this day.
Okay.
No one
I
cares
see
about
what's
them.
going on. All right.
They suck.
No more questions.
More questions?
No further questions, Your Honor.
I've made a very solid case.
It's a very solid story.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mr. Fantastic turns Skrulls into cows.
So solid.
And that's it.
So solid.
What more do you need to know?
No holes. At all.
It's
Not a
fucking
single-
airtight. If I went to court with this, I would get off. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you'd fucking get off all right.
Right into the sink.
Let's continue our
Yes!
That's a horrible catchphrase. Let's continue our foray into the 60s, shall we?
Round 2. Fight.
No, I wasn't picking 60s comics. These are like the most difficult. They're so stupid.
Don't worry,
So-
Joe. I didn't do that.
As he said, that he did Fantastic Four number 2. I did Fantastic Four number 5.
Yeah!
Single digits!
Origins, baby!
So close.
Volume 1!
Oranges?
This is the first appearance of Doctor Doom.
Why isn't Dr. Doom in the first comic?
Because he wasn't there in the first comic.
They fight
He's
the
in-
Mole
they
Man.
fought the
He's
Mole
here,
Man.
he's here in the 5th comic.
Wait, so then, okay.
Wait,
You're thinking about that movie too much. Forget the movie.
I am. I'm
Didn't
thinking
he-
about that movie.
Didn't he fight Spider-Man in like his second comic?
I'm like, so then,
No, the second comic was the cow thing.
so
No,
then
Spider-Man.
how
Oh,
did
in
they
Spider-Man second.
in
Yeah.
the
Oh, I-
Jeremy?
Because he
Yes, Joe.
How did they
Spider-
in the comics get their superpowers then?
They get in a rocket and they fly into space. Where they're going in the rocket, unknown.
Is it like never established? where
They're just
go?
going into space.
Yeah, scientist Reed Richards, girl Susan
His
Storm.
girlfriend,
Girl.
her brother, and a guy.
are going to space.
They get in a rocket and they go into space, and when
Who the
they're
fuck
in
is- who the fuck is Ben?
The guy.
the guy.
No,
Just
like
a guy.
No, like who the fuck is he in the story?
He's Reed's friend.
Well,
Okay.
originally he's
He's
like,
like
a
an engineer.
pilot that they hire, and like that Reed knows, but then later they retcon that they were
That
like
he, like-
childhood friends.
Yeah,
Okay.
And, like,
promised him
Yeah, and
that-
Ben was like, "Oh, these kids pick on you because you're shrimpy and you're too smart. Me, I'm big but no brain.
I'm Michael Chiklis.
Yeah, I'm Michael Chiklis. If you sit on my shoulders, we're like a full human being.
I'm big but no brain.
Are you just describing Freak the Mighty?
I don't know what that
Yeah, I
is.
don't
That
know
you
what
just
that is
made that
either.
up right now.
Just fucking describe
Lie.
Freak the Mighty.
Lie. Jake is the liar.
You didn't read Freak the Mighty?
No,
He doesn't
what the
read.
fuck are you...
Why did you look at me? You didn't read Freak the Mighty, John.
Everyone else is here. Freak the Mighty. What the
What
fuck?
are you talking
What
about?
the fuck
this
is
It was
that?
a classic.
If you know what Freak the Mighty is, comment below.
It's
I
a-
won't check.
It's a
Yeah,
classic story. It's about a little sickly kid, and he meets a big dumb kid, and and the big dumb kid carries the sickly kid on his shoulders, and they're like
Is this a-
outcasts, but they're like
is this a
mighty
comic
together.
or like
You're
an
just
actual
describing
book?
Master Blaster.
No, I'm not. Fuck you guys. I
It's
read
just
it.
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Jack and Daxter.
Look. Freak the Mighty.
You're just describing that one member of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. Oh wow, look at that.
Well, okay.
Freak the Mighty.
All right.
Freak the Mighty.
Freak the Mighty.
Wow.
It's
That
an
looks
actual book.
that looks like
It's
something.
an actual book.
All right, the first appearance of Dr. Doom.
Okay, first Freak Doctor Doom. Issue number 5, first appearance. Okay.
Issue 5, first appearance. We're still with Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Okay.
This story is called,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, this story is called Prisoners
Okay.
of Doom!
I like it. I like it.
You're right over there.
I like it. Mm-hmm.
Go on.
All right, so we open with the Human Torch, Johnny Storm, reading an issue of
can
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, he can read.
Why?
He's reading the Incredible Hulk, which is a comic book in the Marvel Universe.
I thought Fantastic Four came first.
Well, that's what's happening.
Fucking
I think they came out concurrently.
whatever. I don't
He's
care.
reading an issue
Of the Incredible Hulk.
I don't give a fuck.
When Ben Grimm, the Thing, like walks over, rips the book out of his hand, and is like, "Comics are for nerds," and fucking rips it up.
I don't know about this. I don't know.
That's hilarious. I love
So
that.
Johnny gets upset.
That's how me and my dad interacted with each other when I was in high school.
Turns into Fireman, and they start like actual fighting. But then Reed and Sue come down and are like, "Boys, stop it! Your mother and I are very disappointed in you." But they don't have time to continue with that because the lights go out in Baxter Building, and then a giant net falls on Baxter Building.
The building?
Yes, the building. A giant net falls down on Baxter Building. Where did this net come from, Joe? That's right, the Doom Copter.
I fucking love this thing.
How big is the Doom Copter?
A normal helicopter.
What?
It's a normal size helicopter.
No one like called the Fantastic Four. They're like, "There's a giant fucking net coming towards you guys. You better get out of there."
Okay. So,
What?
So,
How does the net
Yeah.
keep them in?
it's over the building.
With like,
Jake, how can you get out of the building if there's a net?
is it like a butterfly net or is it like?
It's like a fishing net.
It's whatever.
Oh my
Keep
God.
going. I can't.
So, there's a big net over the building. They can't get out. Doom proclaims from on high, from his Doom Copter, that he'll release the Baxter Building if the Fantastic Four give him Sue. Because I guess he really wants that mustache-twirling damsel in distress vibe he's got going on right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, most stories in the early Fantastic Four is like people going up and be like, "I want to fuck your wife. Give her to me." I'm like,
So obviously the Fantastic Four agree.
yes.
Because what are they, heroes or something?
Yeah.
Can't have this net on the Baxter
They're
Building.
like, oh yeah, have it.
it's ruining the resale value.
So they just give Sue to this guy named Doom.
Yeah.
Fucking tired already. I'm just-
So once Doom is on the ship, he releases the net and then again proclaims from on high, "All right, the rest of you are my hostages now. I tricked you. Forget the net. If you want to see Sue again, you gotta come and all be my hostages."
This is so convoluted.
It was a very convoluted plan.
Ridiculous.
So now they're all his hostages. So then he takes the Doom Copter with them back to his Doom Castle, and he explains to them, "So I built a time machine. I'm gonna
Okay.
need you guys to go back in time and steal Blackbeard's treasure."
What the fuck? What the actual fuck? This is so fucking lame.
I'm gonna need you to steal Blackbeard's treasure. Why? Because it's filled with crystals. Who made these crystals? That's right, Merlin, the wizard.
Just a fucking wizard, Merlin.
The wizard Merlin.
A wizard did it. This is adding shit in
This
at
is
this
so-
point. They're like, it's Blackbeard's treasure. Also, Merlin was there.
And the Tin Man, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there.
Go on.
How did anyone think
Go
Stan
on.
Lee was a good writer?
So he tells them, so go get me that chest. And then he throws them all into the time machine, and they are whisked away to the golden age of piracy.
Great.
Right? Still with me?
Yeah.
So, obviously they're not dressed for the golden age of piracy. So they beat up some guys and take their clothes.
Oh, just like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
Just like it.
Ben Grimm actually rips off someone's beard and puts it on his rock face. What color is this beard, Joe? It's black.
So he just ripped off Blackbeard's beard.
Close. So,
Bluebeard.
no. Redbeard from Scooby-Doo. So now,
Guessing every color in the rainbow. Purple beard.
so now they're dressed to impress. They start asking around town trying to find where Blackbeard's crew is, but no one knows any Blackbeard. No one knows any Blackbeard's crew. No one's ever heard of that fucking bullshit. Which,
Blackbeard.
Black
I don't like the way you're saying black.
that's a stupid name.
Jesus Christ.
So, a lot of shenanigans happen with a bunch of like bar tussles and a lot of stupid. It gets stupider, but not as entertainingly stupid. But the point is, Ben is Blackbeard.
A bar tussle?
Yeah, there's a bar tussle. They get drugged.
I like
They wake
that.
up on a pirate ship.
How long is this fucking issue?
It's pretty long.
I really like that. That's the hang up that you have. Jesse says there's a bar tussle. Make a long story short. Ben Grimm, the Thing, is Blackbeard, and you go, a bar tussle?
A bar tussle.
So Ben's Blackbeard.
Okay, Ben is Blackbeard.
Ben is
Got it.
actually Blackbeard.
So-
and has been the whole time. He made the legend. So they have some pirate adventures.
Jesse,
So they're just
what the-
robbing people in the past.
Yeah, they're just robbing people in the past. Like, they're Blackbeard's crew.
I mean, like, what are they gonna do?
What
Those people
the-
are already dead.
Yeah, what the fuck?
They're just like, oh, we were superheroes, but now that we're in the past, it's time for a life of crime.
So on one of their pirate adventures, they haul a treasure chest out of the ocean and discover that inside is Merlin's crystals. How do they know this? Fuck if I know.
How do they know?
So now they have the crystals. Johnny comes up with the great idea, like, oh, we promised Doom the chest, not the crystals, though.
Oh, shit.
And Reed's like, you're right.
Ben, eat these crystals.
No.
Close.
No. So they get the crystals. They're going to get the chest. They somehow find the time machine again, because that wasn't really... It kind of just dumped them, but I guess they found it again. They find the time machine.
Figure it out,
But,
bitches.
but Ben's like, no, I don't want to leave. I'm a somebody here. I'm not just a monster. I'm a monster with fame and fortune.
I was a contender.
I'm Blackbeard now.
Okay. He's Blackbeard.
Yeah. So he refuses to go. So the other three members, they don't go to the time machine, but they leave the ship to try and like guilt him into going with them. And then the ship explodes.
Ship explodes.
This is a fucking roller coaster.
So then they find Ben like washed up ashore, and they're like, "Do you want to come home with us now?" And Ben's like,
Watch it
"Yes."
for sure, like a big fucking lump. On the beach.
Have you had enough?
Yes.
Okay.
And then they get back in the time machine and they go home and they go to Doom. They give him his chest. They keep the crystals, and everyone had a great time. And that's the story of how Ben Grimm was Blackbeard, and also Dr. Doom's first appearance. A lot of things happened here. There's a lot to unpack.
That's Dr. Doom's
First
appearance.
appearance.
Okay.
Question time.
Okay. Why does Dr. Doom even do anything?
He
Like,
wants Merlin's crystals.
Question is that?
That's a good question,
what's
Joe.
his like motivation
He wants Merlin's
to
crystals.
throw a net on the Baxter building?
Well, that's the only way to get them to give Sue
I'm
as a
sure
hostage.
it's the only way.
That's the introduction of one of Marvel's
Couldn't think of
greatest
anything
villains.
else.
Net.
The net.
He drops a net on the Baxter building.
Does he still look like the Doctor Doom that we know and
Oh
love?
yeah, he's got the green cloak
The
and the
green.
metal mask,
The cod piece.
the gauntlets and the greaves. Like he really has not changed at all.
The cod piece.
He doesn't wear a cod piece, Jake. He wears a skirt.
It's a tunic.
And he
It's
speaks in
a
the third
skirt.
person.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah, he always spoke in the third person.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I am Doom.
Oh.
Doom will rule all.
Okay.
Doom.
Doom.
Doom will shoot one off in the same.
I'm like
gonna sing the Doom song.
50% sure that he called the net the Doom net.
Okay.
This is like the Thanos copter. This is
Yes. It is just like the Thanos copter from the electric
I don't
company.
know. I think I've heard enough.
All right.
Yeah.
all right.
Good one.
You really broke him with that.
Good. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck?
Final round. Fight.
So, Joe, I've decided to give you a reprieve from 1960s Fantastic Four stories.
He looks like he's gonna have a mental breakdown.
Okay. Okay.
This is from 1990.
Oh, all right.
The 90s.
All right.
You love the 90s.
from-
That's the worst
1990.
time period.
No, Jake, this is when Walt Simonson was writing and drawing the Fantastic Four, which is a seminal run on the series. This is Fantastic Four number 343. This is a standalone issue. This is titled A Very Special Episode. So we open up big splash page, open the cover, full page splash. It's
Reed Richards' cock.
Is it like curlied all around?
Oh no! It's like a silly
It's
straw.
just a whole page coiled.
When he
I hate this.
when he comes, it's like
You said it.
I can still hate it.
Okay, it's a full page.
Full page splash. It's the Fantastic Four and She-Hulk, and they're all being sucked into a big vortex, and they're screaming. It's the Fantastic Four and Franklin, the Richards' little son, and She-Hulk. They're being sucked into a big portal, and then you turn the page. Next page, it's POV of Franklin waking up the She-Hulk, and he's calling her Aunt Jenny, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" And she sits up, and she looks over, and there's a mirror, and she's just regular Jen Walters. She's not the She-Hulk, and she's like, that's not right. I'm supposed to be stuck like that. So she's like, I don't understand what's going on, but she's not sure exactly what it is. So she gets up, and she goes downstairs, and she sees the whole family sitting around at the kitchen table. She comes down the stairs, and there's like a cheering sound effect across the bottom as she comes down, and she sees Sue and Reed and Johnny there, and Ben is there, but he's not the Thing. He's a regular guy now, and he gets up and he's like, "Oh, did you sleep well, sweetheart?" And she's like, "What?" And he leans in to kiss her, and she like puts her hand up to stop him, and he turns and looks at the reader, and he goes, "Oh, morning breath." And then there's a laugh track along the bottom of the page, and so she's like,
Wait.
It's like it just says ha 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 across the bottom of the page.
Okay.
So they're eating breakfast, and then Reed's mom Evelyn comes in, and there's like a cheering sound effect, like how the other sound effects have been in it, and she comes in.
Paint a vivid picture.
Just imagine the Full House set, like the kitchen set where everyone is just there all the time. That's what's going on right now. And she comes in through the door, cheering, and she's like, oh, we're having breakfast, and she's like, Sue, you make the best breakfast, and then Reed says, oh, but not as good as yours, and then the crowd goes, oh, and then Sue smacks him on the back of the head, and they laugh, and Jenna's like, hold the phone, I have never met this woman before, who is this? And she's like, no, you guys have met me, and she looks at Franklin, and she's like, you know Grandma, right? And he goes, yeah, we met at church, and she's like, yeah, you know what, I did see you at church, at your funeral, lady. And she's like, are you trying to say that I'm dead, Jennifer? And she's like, well, I'm not saying that you're alive. And there's still like the laugh track and like oohs and ahs and stuff.
Wait.
It's like very strange. What?
Ben met her at church?
No,
I was
Franklin.
gonna say Ben's Jewish.
Franklin.
Fucking finding
Jewish
flaws
people
in
are
somebody.
allowed into
We're
churches.
not.
Sorry, I've been to temple.
They won't let me in there.
That's you.
Yeah,
That's on
that's
you.
I burst into flames every time.
And when she's saying, she's like, are you saying that I'm dead? Like her face is like getting scarier and scarier. And then she like rushes over to She-Hulk and she starts choking her. She like picks her up in a choke and
God.
and she says, you need to respect your elders, little girl. And then the next panel is extreme close-up, Jen's face, and like there's like green coming around her eyes. And she says, I'm not little. Next panel is Evelyn getting punched directly in the face.
Nice.
Being sent flying. She's hulked out now, and Ben comes over and is like, what the fuck is going on? And he like grabs her, and she turns around reflexively, punches him in the face, and he gets up. Everyone's getting punched. Everyone's getting punched this morning. No breakfast, kids.
No breakfast, just Hawaiian punch.
I'm sorry, what did you want for breakfast? Cereal? Sorry, you're getting a knuckle sandwich, kids. He gets up and like his face is broken like it's a mask, and then like it starts falling off and you see like his rocky face underneath, and then she's like, she goes over, she punches Reed, and like his face gets like smushed into his head.
Punching everybody.
She takes Johnny and she puts his hand on the stove and he bursts into flames.
Okay,
And
what the fuck is that gonna do?
so like
I'm in the flames.
she's like, he's the Human Torch. So now like they're like, you know, things are like breaking apart, and then just like full panel, it just says cut, capital letters. It's revealed that they've been on a sound stage the whole time, and Mojo from the X-Men is there.
Oh,
big,
Mojo.
big scary Mojo, big slug man in a spider in a robot spider carriage. He's like, no, this is not. You're not following the script.
It's quality television.
This is not. I cast you on purpose. This is very unprofessional of you. He stole them. It was Spiral making a portal to suck them out of the Baxter building to star in a family sitcom. He's like, we gotta appeal to all demographics here in Mojo world. And so Mojo is pissed, and he grabs She-Hulk. He's huge. He picks her up, and he's like, we're gonna have to recast you, sweetheart. I'm sorry. You're not working out. And so but then he gets tapped on the shoulder. It's Ben, and he's like, we're all walking out if you're gonna fire her. And then they kick Mojo's ass.
I want to negotiate my contract.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of him. Well, he's just like, his species is literally called the spineless ones. He has no bones in his body.
He has no real strength to himself. Like that's why he has Spiral around.
Yeah, he's just large.
Where
That's
is
his.
Spiral during this?
She's watching. She's watching. She's like, oh fuck. She's just watching her boss get his ass kicked. And then they all look at her. There's a panel of them looking at her, and then she just goes like this, and there's a portal open out, and they all leave. They say thank you, and then they're all like back at the Baxter building. They're eating breakfast for real now, and
She starts punching everybody.
and then Johnny says, he's like, you guys want to watch TV while we eat? I think there's a boxing match on. There's a beat. Everyone's just looking at him, and the next panel. raucous laughter. They're like, that was very funny. You just made a reference to the adventure we were just on where we were all kidnapped into another dimension.
Remember 5 seconds ago when we were still kidnapped?
You guys remember the good old days 5 minutes ago?
Last page is Spiral. She's holding like a bag of ice on Mojo's head. He's all bruised and everything. And she's like, don't worry, boss, you'll get him next time. And Mojo is like, sitcoms are old news, Spiral. Do you see the ratings for the ending of that episode? I see a gritty reboot coming on. End of the issue.
Wow.
I feel like you should have explained to him who Mojo is.
Mojo is a big green guy who sits in a carriage, like a little, like a, what would you describe?
It's a robot spider.
He sits on top of a robot spider. He's got no
carriages from Beauty and the Beast, like the steampunk things.
Yes, it's like that. He just sits on like a robot spider. He has no legs. He's just like a fat guy with big arms
He's like
And
the
no
Dwemer.
legs?
and no legs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he is huge.
He's giant.
Ginormous.
He's like 10 feet tall.
Oh my God.
The size of this room.
Yeah, he's giant. He's fucking huge,
It's
Mojo.
like the Dwemer if they were really tall.
How did he fit in that TV studio?
Well, he has his own dimension,
Yeah,
Mojo World,
Okay.
which is a
it's all
TV.
TV and crazy shit like that.
Wow.
He runs, he's like a despotic dictator, and he controls everybody by just like feeding them a constant stream of like ultra violent television, so everyone is just like completely desensitized, and he rules everything. And Spiral is like his is like a sorceress that he has. She has 6 arms.
Yeah.
Oh,
She has
cool.
6 arms, and she makes portals, and she has
And
she has
boots with the fur.
she has boots with the fur and a hat.
bottom jeans?
Yes, boots with the fur. She wears a hat with knives on it,
I won't lie.
and she has a sword in each hand, and one arm is metal.
I won't lie, I thought this was going to end up being arcade. I didn't think it was going to be Mojo. I didn't even think of Mojo. It's...
Of Mojo.
No, Mojo's fun. No, if it was arcade, it would be a theme park.
Yeah.
That's Arcade's thing. He builds an entire theme park to kill one man.
Mojo is basically like if like Batmite was a giant slug man.
Yeah, he's just like TV reference, the 90s, the 80s, a gun.
Yeah. One more aside about Mojo. In recent comics now, Mojo is not about TV. He's a Twitch streamer. He pretty much is Twitch.
So
It's
he's,
He runs
fun.
Twitch.
so he's a
terrible.
Nazi now, basically.
He's always been a Nazi.
Hey, he's a despot.
There's my favorite Mojo 2, the sequel, who's ripped. He's ripped and he has legs and he has dreadlocks and a goatee and
Wow.
he's like
And a gun.
hot. Yeah, and a gun.
He's Brodock.
Yeah,
So where did-
basically.
So where did he come from?
The Mojo world.
The Mojoverse, yeah, he just lives. He has his own
came
dimension.
from there.
Yeah, he like watches
He was
the.
born.
Yeah, he watches the 616 universe because he's like, they got all these superheroes here. If I can just like stream, if I can just like record them, like people love these guys. He's traditionally an X-Men villain, but you know sometimes he's like, all right.
He gets around.
Enough. We gotta diversify here. You know, some people like the X-Men, some people like the Spider-Men, some
Mutants are
people.
old news.
Yeah.
And then he comes back to the old news.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, what if the X-Men were babies now?
Okay.
All right.
It's great. You like him.
Any more questions, Charlie?
Questions. Wait, have we been doing the questions? I thought we
Yeah.
were just explaining who Mojo
Yeah, we're
was.
just explaining who. I have a question.
All right, that's a fair. That's a
before Joey
free
so,
one.
So wait a minute. Question time.
Jesse, what's your question?
Why was She-Hulk there in the first place?
This is in the transition period where when Ben left the Fantastic Four in the 80s to become a professional wrestler.
I fucking hate comic books so much.
He left to be a professional wrestler, and that's where he met the second Miss Marvel, Sharon Ventura, who then eventually becomes the She-Thing. And they have like a brief romance because they're both made out of rocks. He's left.
Wait. The second Miss, because the first Miss Marvel was Rambo.
No,
the
the second.
first Miss Marvel
is Carol
was
Danvers,
Carol Danvers.
who's now Captain Marvel.
Because
She becomes a star. In this,
Trinary.
binary.
Oh, binary.
Trinary is a different character.
Sorry, my
Because
bad.
the first female to call herself Captain Marvel was Rambo.
Yes, Monica Rambeau. Yes, but yeah, no. This is the second Miss Marvel when Carol Danvers gets turned into a star and is in space having sex with her like son.
Okay.
Remember that?
Right.
Remember
I
what?
try not to.
No.
I actually don't.
No.
There's a cosmic entity that like she dates for a little bit and then he gets her pregnant and then he disappears and then she gives birth and it's a full grown man and it's the guy that she fucked and then they go into space together.
She like fucking Zeus? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Basically,
like
It's really bizarre.
it's not the Beyonder you would think, but it's not. It's some other guy who just looks like the Beyonder.
I try to forget the whole binary thing. All
we
that
don't-
binary shit was bad.
We don't talk about that anymore. So she's gone. New lady, she was just strong. Sharon Ventura, she's the second Miss Marvel. Then she gets she tries to get stronger by going to the power broker. He gives her something. She turns into a rock like the Thing. And they have rock adventures together. And so, like, the Fantastic Four is like, well, we can't be the Fantastic Three. That doesn't roll off the tongue anymore. So then they're like, She-Hulk is in the city, and she's like, hey, they, like, have teamed up before. And so she joins the team. That's the whole John Byrne era of the Fantastic Four. John Byrne leaves to do Alpha Flight in the late 80s. Walt Simonson takes over in 1989, and he's like, what if the Thing is back? What if he comes back? So for a tiny little bit, they're the Fantastic Five, but they all still have fours on their uniforms, and then She-Hulk goes, I'm going to be a lawyer now.
Okay.
All right,
All
well,
right. Makes
thanks.
sense. Yeah.
Back to you.
I love how many people have joined the fucking Fantastic Four, and they're just like...
It's the Fantastic 20 at this point.
Look, there was a period where the
Spi-
Fantastic Four was Spider-Man, the
Spider-Man?
Hulk, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider.
Hell yeah.
That's the best Fantastic
Spider-Man
Where's that Fantastic Four?
Spider-Man has joined the Fantastic Four like so many fucking times.
He keeps showing up, and he's like, can I join the Fantastic Four?
They
And
love him.
yeah, and then they're like, sure. He's like, can I get money, please? And they go, no.
They
He's
really
like, "All right."
shouldn't be the Fantastic Four anymore. They have 2 kids.
What are they going to be, the Sensational Six?
Sure.
That's what the Future Foundation is for, Jesse.
We can't fucking rebrand at this point. Reed Richards is like looking at like the receipts for like new T-shirts and shit, and he's like, "What the fuck are we gonna do?"
You know how expensive unstable molecules are?
It's stupid when you have like a group shot of the 6 of them and they're all wearing 4s.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're not all wearing fours, Jesse. The Fantastic Four are wearing fours, and then Franklin has a 5 on his uniform, and Valeria has a 6.
Doesn't make any sense. Why don't they have 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Ooh.
Because that's smart, Jesse.
I'm starting to think Reed's a pretty dumb guy.
He's
He
book
is.
smart.
He's
He's
an
not street
idiot.
smart.
He's a fucking idiot.
All right, Joe.
All right.
Questions? Any more questions?
So no Doctor Doom in this one.
No.
We have Mojo.
That counts.
You want Dr. Doom and Mojo?
Yeah.
You got actually a pretty good pantheon of Fantastic Four villains. You know, we got
missing Galactus.
just Galactus.
Dr. Doom.
I like how Galactus is like a Fantastic Four villain technically. The first time Galactus shows up on Earth, he's just like, "Hey, this guy that I own, he's hanging out here, so give him to me. Or I'm gonna eat your planet." And then like Henry Kissinger's like, "We should just fucking give it to him."
Great.
Yeah, and Reed Richards makes like a weird thing. He just makes like he puts a bunch of metal together and it's squiggles. He just has like he's just holding like a bunch of squiggles and he's like, it's the ultimate nullifier, Galactus. I'll kill you.
I forgot about that.
And then he's like, oh no, I know what that is. And he leaves.
Wasn't it a bluff?
Yes, the ultimate nullifier doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, it was just like that's what I love. I meant to bring this up before with the sliding time scale of like, because I was gonna do a story about the Henry Kissinger and the Fantastic Four, and like how many people have like the Fantastic Four have met like every fucking president.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in Marvel Comics that are like really dated if you think about it.
Like fucking Captain America was hanging out in like Harlem in the 70s. Like,
Yes.
Good for him.
They've met like multiple world leaders, and it's just like they're like, oh yeah, I'm still 25 years old, even though it's 2021 and I've hung out with Richard Nixon. In fact, I fought him.
Don't think about it too much.
Don't
None
think
of
about it
makes
too
sense.
much. Joe, you have any
Okay.
more questions for me?
No more questions.
All right.
All right.
Decision time.
Joseph, which one of us is lying?
All right. Well, they were all very weird.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be.
Very grounded team.
Yeah.
Apparently, Fantastic Four is batshit crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Unlike all the movies.
You're right.
The movies are fucking boring compared
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
how off the wall insane the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four is.
So where's the batshit crazy Fantastic Four movie?
Maybe we'll get one someday.
no.
Someday.
It's gonna
No.
somehow be even more boring in Disney.
Yeah.
Okay. My God. So Jake's was weird. Jake's was like 3 comics spread out like 30 years apart. So
Those cows got around.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I think they were just like, man, these cows have been on my farm for fucking 30 years.
Jesse's it feels like a trick for some reason because it was just so off the wall. I'm like, that's either super real or he thinks I'm an idiot. And Jeremy's felt like the most real comic, which seems to be the lie. And this is the thing.
But you have no other 90s Fantastic Four to base that off
It's
of.
true.
Thank God we stuck to the 60s.
It's true. So,
What a game plan.
oh god damn, I don't know which one to choose.
If I had done a mid-2000s one, we would have thrown off our whole rhythm.
Yeah, really.
I don't know which one to choose. It was all very convincing. Still, Jake's is the dumbest one.
Come on, Skrull's turn the cows.
His fucking one was Thing is Blackbeard,
I know.
and mine was the dumbest.
Why would you pick one that was like 3 comic books?
Because I honestly don't give a fuck about the Fantastic Four, but I was just like, this is like the one storyline I know thoroughly.
For some reason. Alright, you know what? Jesus Christ. I'm gonna go with Jake this time. Jake's lying to me.
Joe, I was telling you the truth.
Ah!
Wrong.
Who was lying to me?
Jeremy.
Yeah, I fucking...
Boring Jeremy.
I was gonna say it's always the it's
So
it's
boring.
always the most realistic one is the fucking lie.
That's why I picked the dumb ones.
Yeah, I went with Jake because his wasn't adding up.
Can you believe that a net fell on a Baxter building?
You see, now that one obviously sounded fake, but I'm like, that's so fake it has to be real.
I love
that is so real.
I love the idea that Joe was listening to Jesse's the whole time. He's like, what the fuck do you think of me?
Yeah, like,
You think I'm an idiot?
Who the fuck do you think I am?
yeah. Wow.
I like he was like insulted the whole time.
Good
He's like, he
one.
doesn't fucking think I'm buying
Good
this.
one.
Thank you.
1 for 4.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite character from the show, Jake the Snake. No relation. Be sure to ask your parents to go online and follow us on our social media accounts. And if you like this video, I sure hope you did, leave us a like and maybe a follow. And if you didn't, what are you still doing here? Also, check out our editor Kat's channel, because without your views, she will surely starve. Thanks, see you next time.